But go to Bungoma. Majority of the people there are not Kikuyus. Come to Trans Nzoia. Majority of people are not Kikuyus. Go even to Azingishu, where William Ruto comes from. There are, of course, militant sycophants of his. But there is disquiet among the general public in Wasingishu. Go to Nandi. Go to Kericho, where you originally came from. There is also disquiet. So the issue of making it Kikuyu is just to color it and to start scaremongering people so that you recoil and you say, we are not going to say no because we are going to be isolated. Raila will definitely either run or will run a candidate in his party because you cannot allow the party not to run a candidate because that is the only way the party will suffer what we call political atrophy. Because if you don't run a presidential candidate, the party is going to diminish. Since in Kenya, either parties are grafted around individuals or a coalition of communities. A decision as important as getting a flag bearer will rest almost at the doorsteps of the principals. Because any of the principals, and let it make it clear, any of the principals qualifies to be head of state and head of government in Kenya. When I wanted to go and deal with the issues of Koitalel Samoei in 2005, 19th of October, William Ruto and other friends of mine, they organized a heckling. I took Kibaki there. They heckled me because they thought I was stealing the show from them.
Stealing their thunder.
Yeah. That was the beginning of them moving to ODM. So they were fighting me because I was trying to redefine the history of Kenya. And Mzee Kibaki graciously accepted to come and preside over the occasion. There's no way you can steal these votes. In the next election, let us look for votes. Whoever thinks that votes can be stolen for him is deluding himself.
Nelson Koech, Belgut Member of Parliament and Chairperson for Defense Committee, argues there is zero precedence of a one-term president. William Ruto has to finish his 2 terms. Yetu 10, yao 10.
Well, I don't know who are the other team. Yao yetu.
Uhuru tulimpa 10, ni Ruto sasa apoe 10.
But he had to look for votes. Uhuru looked for votes. He didn't wait to be given votes. Doesn't he have enough examples?
I'm so glad to have you on board. Today, the month of July, the year of our Lord 2025, we continue bringing home conversations that are shaping Kenya's political and governance landscape. At a time, so much is happening in this country. But first things first, allow me to introduce the gentleman who's going to help me bring the day's conversation home. He is our resident analyst here, a seasoned politician in this country, having served this country in many capacities. Prime of it, as agriculture CS in Kibaki 1 government. He also served Cherangani constituency as a member of parliament for 20 years. A first for politicians in this country. He is none other than Waziri Kipto Raptura. Great to see you, sir.
It's my pleasure too.
How are you doing, though? It's been 2 weeks without you on board.
Yes, I'd gone to Trans Nzoia, and at some stage, I was under the weather because Nairobi climate or weather keeps on changing. So, but yesterday I came back from Kitale, and I'm in town. Yes.
Great to have you on board. We thank God that you continue experiencing some good health to this very end.
Thank
but
you.
Then again, Waziri, I want us to have a conversation, or rather to start our conversation from the Gen Z movement. And as we speak, a number of them had been arrested following the Sabasaba protest. Now they are out, but on bail. But what even shocks majority of the people is the charges they were accused for: terrorism. Member of Parliament Mukunji for Manyata constituency now wants to sue DCI boss, Director of Public Prosecutions, Mr. Igonga, for invoking anti-terror laws to charge these people because they are government critics. From how you look at it, from a general perspective, how do you weigh this kind of charge that was leveled against these dissenting voices?
First of all, it's against international protocol to raise charges against an individual which goes against the law. It goes against the law in the sense that at the end of the day, the government knew that these young men were not terrorists at all. But because they wanted some law that can retain them in cells for a much longer period than is required, and without looking like they are going against the law, they had to invoke that particular section of the law, which I think is unfortunate and is something that we must condemn as a people of Kenya. Number two, I just want to remind them that what they are doing is they are raising the wrong profile for this country. To say that we have terrorists in our midst is also creating a situation where there will be a red flag that Kenyans are terrorists from birth. And that is not going to be good for our internationals outside Kenya. And even the picture of the nation is that we have no capacity to manage terrorists. So I feel we should not even have invoked that section of the law. They should have been more ingenious in raising other issues that can retain those young men for the necessary period, less than 24 hours. And if they have any evidence of mistakes they have made, offenses against the law, then they bring forth. Otherwise, it is pretense of a regime that has increasingly lost the trust of many Kenyans. Yeah.
In the same breath, the president has implored parents like you to probably do better when it comes to your parenting roles. And this far, he has asked parents like you that, well, if you fail in your parental duties, and now your children are being met out here by the police, do you expect the police to do the parenting duties on your behalf? How do you measure these statements from the president regarding the interaction between the police and protesters on the streets?
Well, the least I can say, it's unfortunate that somebody of the stature of head of state is trying to give us lectures about basic issues of good manners, when he knows the bad manners that is pervading our society is copied from him. When a leader makes a mistake, lies to the public, how does he expect Kenyans to take him? The outrage that you see the GNCs have, we also have. It's only that they're expressing it better than us. Otherwise, the outrage is equal on older people, on young people, because these are young people. You cannot do anything and lie. They will get the information before even you leave the platform to know that what you've told them is not true. So he should know that he's the one who has set a bad example. He has increasingly created a situation where there is an abundance of bad manners on the political stage, where leaders promise what they know they cannot deliver, where leaders lie when they know they are lying. Because you see, to give a political manifesto and not get to implement it fully is not a crime. But you cannot give a manifesto while you know that manifesto is full of impossibilities. That is the problem. The president has allowed himself. So for him to pretend that he's telling us how to behave well, he should start by behaving himself. That's our children will copy. When he behaves well, we are all going to copy as leaders, that our president is behaving well. All of a sudden he's less of a liar, and everybody will be happy.
But the president insists that he's going to keep all his promises to the end. He's going to fulfill them in the fullness of time.
Well, I don't know how much time he has. It depends on what is his time frame. But if it is the 2 years that are left, I'm sorry I will not be able to fulfill even half of them. Yeah.
All right, Waziri, it makes sense. So you've signaled that probably the Kenya Kwanza manifesto was not based on realities that are achievable. But then again, are you now concluding that it was more of a sales speech and not really a reality?
Well, the issue is that some of the promises were noble and they were good, but President's own utterances has fueled the lack of trust. When he talked of bottom-up, I also believed that if you raise the people at the bottom, even the people in the middle class, and those at the top, will also have equal, some kind of benefit from the upbringing of issues, starting with the basic issues at the bottom. I expected that he was going to be more prudent in managing our resources, not taking resources and giving in every buying center bicycles that may not be needed, motorbikes, portion meals, and giving a group of 31 people 2,000 shillings. How will they be able to share that?
That isn't an empowerment model?
It's not an empowerment by any stretch of imagination. Empowerment is what we did in Kibaki 1.
How so?
A stimulus, what we are calling economic stimulus. We come to Nyakinyo and we say, you are getting 10 classrooms supported by government. You don't give materials. You give money to the school, then the school will procure local materials from bricks, sand, cement, mabati, and even labor. That's the only way you can take money to the grassroots. This other method is just looking for a way of stealing from the coffers and not taking money to the grassroots.
So if you see all this empowerment towards, what is dubbed as empowerment towards, being spearheaded by the president's AD, Farouk Kibet, and also the DP, Kithure Kindiki, do you think that it's more of serving to a political agenda and not even really what you're talking about stealing in the first place?
Well, I think basically what they are trying to do is to look for a forum to say they are also still around in preparation for the year 2027 elections. Otherwise, they know they cannot just go to an open field and talk, and they expect people to come. Some of the people actually I know, because they were in Cherangani the other day, they were sending money for people to attend the function. And they did not prepare in good time. Some of the money was sent when somebody is in Nandi, somebody is in Bungoma, then you receive 1,000 and a phone call. You are supposed to be at the rally in Kipkege secondary school.
Those were commercial crowds, part of it?
Yeah, paid up crowds. Some of them did not have a chance to attend, but thank God they had already gotten 1,000 or so through M-Pesa.
So how do you make of the crowd that was there outside KICC for the concert, of course celebrating the Matatu sector and also the new investment by the president's son, George Ruto, new buses in town? Could also be have been part of this scheme to marshal the crowds, much as they are paid.
Some may be curious passers-by who want to see what's happening here. And others are people who are paid. Others may believe in the cause. So it's a crowd of mixed fortunes and mixed thoughts.
It wasn't entirely to pass the impression that the Gen Z are with the Kenya Kwanza government.
No, far from it. Any normal Gen Z without the influence of money is not likely to get closer to Kenya Kwanza, let alone Kenya Kwanza government.
The association itself is a cardinal sin from the onset?
That is it, because if there's a government that has been very repressive against young Kenyans, this is the one.
But this same government poses a question to Kipruto Arap Kirwa that when it was Mwai Kibaki, when it was Uhuru Kenyatta, there was less of this dissent that I'm experiencing. There was less of this, negative talk about my administration. Do you think this comparison is welcomed at this particular point in time?
What anybody who is thinking like that should realize, it is not Kibaki, it's not Moi, it's not Kenyatta 1 or Kenyatta 2 who behaved badly. This is a reaction to the current president who has refused to be presidential.
But C.S. Duale argues the president is a victim of his name, his second name, Samoei.
Well, Moi was a Kalenjin, or is still a Kalenjin, and people never fought him because he was a Kalenjin. It is towards the end, when he almost abrogated the constitution, that clamor for multipartyism came in. When he amended the constitution to provide for Section 2A, which was only declaring KANU as the only party. It is from when people were expelled from KANU without an alternative political arrangement that people started clamoring for multipartyism. And to crown it all, it is the fall of the Berlin Wall, where now Kenya was exposed and issues of democracy took center stage, that we were forced to get into multi-party situation. Not because he was a Kalenjin. Otherwise, he ruled for 24 years. The current president has not even finished 4 years. And yet, nobody seems to have time for him. Not because he's a Kalenjin. At times, people misuse the name of their tribe. They are talking to him as William Ruto, a man who has no respect for the law.
Just that.
Just that. All these other are stories just to make it look like he's a nice guy and to make us guilty by association. Being a Kalenjin, you feel guilty. I don't feel guilty myself.
You don't feel like a betrayer of the community?
Betraying the community from which cause? There's no cause at all. This is a government without direction. Even if this government was to be there for 20 years, there will be no single benefit to a Kalenjin except the cronies around him.
Cabal of opportunists?
Yeah, many of them. They know and they say they benefited from Kenyatta One. They benefited from Kibaki. In between, Moi was able to expand the education system in the whole country. So it's not Kalenjins alone who benefited. When a government is doing something, it's not for the community. There have been 3 Kikuyus in State House. And the Kikuyus who have money, it's not because they went to State House to be given money. They went to the field, looked for money, and did their businesses. There are some who are still in the ghettos trying to survive. So if there is a community with clear demographics from the ghetto to the elite of the elite, it's the Kikuyu. Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Waziri, you have really good credentials when it comes to management and leadership, academic credentials.
Yes.
But then again, when you see a president taking the blame squarely at the doorstep of his predecessors, like President Ruto has done, so is the president supposed to justify failure or actually provide solutions to the mess that he inherited?
You know, in philosophy, they call it escapism. When we hear somebody blaming it on the neighbor, even blaming it on Uchawi, Uganga, or whoever was there before him, that is the issue that we call in philosophy escapism. You are trying to run away from yourself, and you can't.
Now, the president seemingly and his associates believe that this is a Mount Kenya affair, the revolt we are seeing from the Gen Z and people even outside the Gen Z movement.
Yeah.
And increasingly, the nation is becoming polarized, a community against others. We are slowly walking back to the 207 scenario. How then can we contain this situation whereby the Kikuyus are not now being seen as the only people who are against the Kenya Kwanza administration?
But go to Bungoma. Majority of the people there are not Kikuyus. Come to Trans Nzoia. Majority of people are not Kikuyus. Go even to Azingishu, where William Ruto comes from. There are, of course, militant sycophants of his. But there is disquiet among the general public in Azingishu. Go to Nandi. Go to Kericho, where you originally came from. There is also disquiet. So the issue of making it Kikuyu is just to color it and to start scaremongering people so that you recoil and you say we are not going to say no because we are going to be isolated. What we need to do is to be very clear that yes, Kenyans have said no to misgovernance. We are not saying no to Ruto. No to misgovernance, no to stealing of resources, no to political bad manners, no to corruption, no to selective employment of our children, no to killing of our children, no to shooting, whether it's the leg or the head. We say no to that. When we say that, we are not saying no to Ruto. If he was to change, actually he may be re-elected. But he has no capacity to change because he's hell-bent on believing he knows everything, even something that he doesn't know. And in most cases, we know he doesn't know because he does not have basic governance principles in his mind. He has not trained in any leadership school.
Philosophy of management?
Which philosophy does he have? Possibly philosophy of botany and zoology. He can pretend that he has PhD, but PhD in leadership?
You accused him the other day of being good at engineering falsehoods.
Yeah.
But then again, When now you see the Nairobi River trying to be getting some new look, when you see some affordable housing being launched here or there, or now affordable housing internship program by the government, a new thing in town, don't you think that there's need for you to grant the president some grace of time? He has 2 years to go.
Grace of time, I've always given him. I can give him even another extra 5 years if he wins the next election. But it's very clear. There is nothing he does that there's nothing for him in it. Simply that. When he talk about affordable housing, who is supplying the material? Who is building? Whose land is it being built on? Why are these houses still more expensive than houses in the open market, where people buy land, they spend money, they borrow from the bank? He is using money that does not belong to government by taking money from young Kenyans who happen to be employed, calling it housing levy. And he was saying it's not a tax. It has become a tax, which does not qualify to be a tax in the normal sense of the word. Who is funding the Nairobi River project? How much is it getting there from the original amount of money? Is it just a project for the sake of it? If I told you I'm planting 100 acres of maize, I need 150 bags of fertilizer, DAP, or whatever the brand. Then when I get to the field, I just use 50 bags and 100 bags I sell in the open market. How will you know that I have not diverted part of the money? So some of these projects, we don't believe in them because we no longer believe in the leadership of William Ruto.
So the aspect of transparency and accountability is the missing puzzle.
Yeah, it's opaque. And trust. You can't trust him. How can you trust him when he tells you one thing and he does the opposite?
There are bishops already trusting him and they're taking concern with us. You've seen them at State House.
I don't mind. They can go to State House. They can even build the church in State House. But they should realize on the day of reckoning, they will be as naked as I will be. They will be asked the basic question: what did you do when I gave you a chance to be a leader in the church? What did you do when I allowed you to be the president of Kenya? For 5 years or whatever period, he'll be the president.
I gave bishops a Prado to facilitate the work of God.
Prado is more material. We must be more philosophical. We must be more spiritual. You know, if you can afford to steal, you can give us 10 Prados or even 100 Prados. Is it from your resources? Or is it from our resources that you have diverted for other reasons than the reasons that we gave you? Was it appropriated in the budget? Was it from his salary? You know, we must know the source. That's why even this issue of taking money all over the country, calling it empowerment, is nonsense.
We have to question the generosity of the president and his aides.
No, it's not generosity. If he was generous, he should be telling us that yes, he does not take money from the coffers of the public, and the little that he gets from his own salary, he has dedicated to do 1, 2, 3. When you build a church of 1.2 billion, when we know a salary of a president for 10 years, if he was to be there for 10 years, is only 168 million. Is that, can you compare? Which means he's working for free for the entire 10 years? Or does he have alternative ways of getting some income other than his own salary?
His story could be like that of Jenga Karume, from charcoal to gold, from chicken seller to a place of abundant blessings.
Okay, fine. We'll allow him, but he has not written the book. Let him write his own book.
Could be on the way.
Well, I don't mind. I don't mind. I will be very keen to read and tell the public there are lies here, because I've known him for close to 30 years.
You can be a better editor of that book?
Yes, because I know him. I know him since he was in YK 92, in 1992, up to now. That's a long period of time.
What is this trait that has been very consistent?
Not telling the truth and land grabbing. That's how we took procession away. And when I said the last time, people were condemning me, oh, how can somebody own a procession away? But now it has been proven. He returned when Kibaki took over. He went to Ministry of Lands, that is returning the parcels of land. The procession away from State House via Serena to Uhuru Park. It was procession from State House. That's why they call it procession away.
Waziri, Gen Z is a state of mind, not really about age. But then again, now you're talking about the church being met with these good parks, Prados, huge donations to the tunes of millions of shillings. But this Gen Z who is harboring this state of mind and taken to the street to call for this accountability, transparency, is now being met by a bullet at the leg, shoot at the leg, then take them to court, probably level anti-terrorism charges against them. So then again, Waziri, if indeed the president is gonna advance room for dialogue, advance room for these new concerns to be tapped into, where does that journey begin from? Even recalling some of his words like shoot these Gen Zs at the leg?
Well, in the first place, I no longer believe with dialogue with Ruto. Yeah. You'll be making a mistake because what we'll be telling you today is the opposite. I saw the way Raila was trying to, was agonizing on, was it on Sunday?
Yeah, Sunday evening.
Trying to prove a case, saying that we agreed on this and some things have not been done the way he wished.
The MOU between ODM and UDA.
Yes, an MOU that was superfluous because some of those issues are in the Constitution. If it's about transparency, if it's about allowing institutions to operate, if it is about making sure public resources are taken care of, if it is making sure that there is separation of power, all those things are provided under the current Constitution.
There are also issues about abductions, but we are witnessing them to this end.
Yeah, and even Raila was agonizing to prove that abductions might have to come to an end. And Raila has reminded him all the time, even in Kisumu, was it? No, not Kisumu. I think in South Nyanza, Homa Bay. He told him no abductions, and he himself said from now henceforth, we are stopping abductions. And when you know, English is very interesting. When you say from now henceforth, we are stopping abductions, it means either you have the capacity or it is you who has been doing abductions.
You are the mastermind.
You must, yeah. Just listen to the sentence. From now henceforth, we are stopping abductions. Either he was using somebody as an agent or he himself was presiding over the spree of abductions against young Kenyans.
Yes, the Raila Odinga, the leader of ODM, has indeed taken concern with the UDF pact not really playing fidelity to the full when it comes to their MOU. But he still says, I'm going to be with Ruto until 2027. So then again, what do you think is the end game of Raila Odinga, even in the arrangement of the broad-based government in the first place?
Well, I think he finds himself in a very awkward position. And I think he's in a position that he does not have reverse gear. Because he realizes the team that is led by people like Rigathi, Gachagua, Kalonzo, Eugene, they are reluctant to accept him. And if they are reluctant to accept him, he must have been using this dialogue for him to reincarnate himself and create relevance, so that when we come to the table, he sees who to run away with. That has been his style of doing things. I remember in the run-up to 2017, the NASA period, he was initially with Mudavadi,
Sure.
and Kalonzo was operating with Moses Wetangula. I happened to have had a lecturer who happens also to have been a close friend of Kalonzo. So we went to Kalonzo's house and we agreed that they need to talk to each other between him and Musalia. And he said, even my friend Weta, I can also rope him in at the right time. So we were seeing a situation where it was going to be 3 against 1. No sooner had we allowed Kalonzo and Musalia to talk and agree on the arrangement, where Tangula eloped with Raila. That's what happened. So it ended up being 2-2. Then we looked for Isaac Ruto to break the stalemate. And the rest is history.
History of betrayal.
Yeah. Raila ended up being the presidential candidate.
So if you're going to assess the history of Raila-initiated dialogues with successive governments, to this end, they have been serving more personal, private interest and not really interest for the public?
I want to say political interest. whether it is the cooperation with KANU that started by him ditching Fort Kenya to start NDP, and NDP ends up with KANU. You remember Jogo and Tractor, him ending up as Secretary General of KANU. And on the eve of 2002 elections, the pathways, now he comes out with Saitoti and the rest from through LDP, merging with us in NAK and creating National Rainbow Coalition.
Sure.
And having won that election, he never allowed the 5 years to end. He ran away with KANU that we had defeated to move to ODM through referendum and eventually formed the party. And if you realized, if you check keenly, the people who are in ODM in the run-up to 2007 were principally some of the original LDP and KANU. KANU did not come to our side. They went the other way. The only person who came to our side was Uhuru. And eventually was able to work with Kibaki, became deputy prime minister after the election and after the killing of many Kenyans and after the grand coalition government.
So indeed, Waziri, Raila is finding himself at a very difficult position. You talked about the crossroad that he's at this far.
Yeah.
So then again, if eventually, in the run-up to the 2027 election, I'm talking about the last 2 or 3 months, he makes now a comeback to your team and asks for you to cede ground to him, do you think that will be something that you could warm up to?
Well, I don't know, because politics, they say one day is long enough to make a lot of changes. But what I know is that Raila will definitely either run or will run a candidate in his party, because you cannot allow the party not to run a candidate, because that is the only way the party will suffer what we call political atrophy. Because if you don't run a presidential candidate, the party is going to diminish. Since in Kenya, either parties are grafted around individuals or a coalition of communities. And therefore, if Raila will still have ODM as his party and not running a presidential candidate, it will give him a lot of challenges. As to whether he will agree and run one candidate with Ruto as the candidate or he himself as a candidate, supported by Ruto, is another case. But our game, we don't want to benchmark on Raila. We want to do our game the way we see it, and we listen to Kenyans. And Kenyans will tell us so and so should be the candidate, or this is the team combination that they feel they are comfortable with. That's something that I will respect, and I will also strive to get towards.
But there's already a provisional lineup from your outfit, the United Opposition, as reported by KTN News, one which positions Kalonzo Musyoka as your preferred flag bearer, Prime CS, that is Rigathi Gachagua, and other principals taking different positions therein. Is this the true position of your outfit so far?
Well, I don't know. I don't know which committee is the one that came up with that kind of story. Yeah, the team that I'm part of, we've not even reached there. And the more important is that a decision as important as getting a flag bearer will rest almost at the doorsteps of the principals. Because any of the principals, and let it make it clear, any of the principals qualifies to be head of state and head of government in Kenya. They qualify, they merit, and they are fit. This therefore means that delicate situation of saying who is the first among equals is something that we cannot decide technically. They can be given advice, but eventually they are the ones to cast the first, the last lot with whoever they want to choose as their candidate, depending on factors given by our team or given by any other team and general advisors surrounding the leaders and their own wisdom as leaders.
Rigathi Gachagua has openly talked about him being a front runner and the best person suited to be the president from your outfit. Do you welcome this self-endorsement from Rigathi Gachagua?
Well, listening to him, he did not endorse himself. He says, I know I could be the best. But if the consensus will develop and arrive at somebody else, I'm willing to be part of that team. And that is reasonable, and that's honorable. And it is something that we should not question him. That's why I've said any one of them is fit to run the show. It's only that we cannot do it at the expense of other leaders. We must build that consensus. And consensus building
Sure.
is the most delicate and the most fragile situation. Because one, we must manage egos. Two, we must develop trust so that people trust that if it is so and so, we trust it's going to listen to us. Remember, in the run up to the last election, Rigathi Gachagua was the running mate picked by William Ruto. You will not imagine that today there are so many poles apart, but it seems they are not built sufficient trust, or somebody might have decided to move on tangent after winning the election. Yeah.
It makes sense. So then again, Waziri, Rigathi Gachagua is a principal in your team.
Yes.
During his USA state visit, state tour, he's still there, the USA, he's made some remarks.
Yeah.
One of them is talking about how the Kikuyu community are the drivers of Kenya's economy. Well, some other communities are feeling that you're making us look like we will always play second fiddle to you, like we are not credited for the nation's progress. Do you think such statements are minus for your team?
No, there are still facts. The African economy in Kenya today, the African economy, let alone Wahindis and these conglomerates coming from China, from UK, from America, the African GDP of Kenya is predominantly Kikuyu. You cannot wish it away. Even the Nairobi economy, remove other races, and you say the African economy in Nairobi, the African GDP in Nairobi, which is 56% of the national GDP, which are the communities controlling that GDP? Whether it's from Kawangware, whether it's from Mugurukwa Njenga, all the way to Equity Bank. Those are facts. They are drivers of the economy. But they are not saying we are the exclusive drivers. If it is butcheries that we have in Dagoretti, they need livestock from Kajiado. Yeah, they need livestock from Kajiado. And the economy of Kajiado is predominantly Maasai. Although there are substantial Kikuyus, but they are not livestock keepers in Kajiado. They need livestock from West Pokot. They need livestock from Trans Nzoia. They need livestock from Wajir. They need, so this is a situation where we must be symbiotic, where we appreciate each other. So it is possibly, it was said by a Kikuyu about the Kikuyu economy. If it was said by somebody else who is actually giving you the facts will not have been altered. When I say we are the greatest producers of maize as Trans Nzoia County, people may say I'm bragging, but that's the reality. If you are to say which county produces the largest amount of maize, the answer is Trans Nzoia. I come from Trans Nzoia. So it is wrong perhaps it's wrong when I say it because I come from Trans Nzoia. But those are statistics. If you say who are the greatest producers of milk today, Kiambu. Who are the greatest producers of potatoes, Nyandarua.
Facts are stubborn.
Yeah, Nyandarua. And which is the second food crop in Kenya? Potatoes. So Kikuyus, they produce the second food crop in Kenya among Kenyans. These chips that you see. I'm not being a psychophant of Kikuyus. When you talk of maize in Trans Nzoia, it's we, the people of Trans Nzoia, who are predominantly, majority of them, who are farms, are Kalenjins. We have more farms than any other single community in Trans Nzoia. We may not be majority in terms of numbers, but in terms of landmass, we own more. So I can say I'm a producer of maize as a Kalenjin. So, some of these things, anyway, people will twist. Whatever Gachagua will say, they will twist.
Actually, a section of members from the Kalenjin political class have argued that we've seen the Kikuyu leaders have a history of erasing other communities from the history of Kenya's progress, be it the struggle for independence, be it even the democratic progress we've made this far.
Yeah.
So it's not just about us being the drivers of Kenya's economy.
Yeah.
It is now going back to other times beyond now.
Well, let me tell you, Mau Mau, the main community that suffers the repercussions of Mau Mau, were Kikuyus. A section of other Kenyans, the Merus, possibly took the largest brand per capita of the Mau Mau onslaught. The Akamba, they were part of it. The Luos in Nyanza, including Ochengo Neko, and others, they took the brunt of the Mau Mau system. But in terms of national struggle, the Nandi said there are 10 years, 1895 to 19 or what?
What, 6 there about?
1990 what? 1905, when Koitalel Samoei on 19th of October was gunned down by a British major when they were going for peace negotiation. So those 10 years, the Nandis carry the brand.
Give it to them.
Yeah, and you don't deny it. But of course, other Kalenjins, they want to have a share of it. But some of them were betrayers, and some were carrying luggage for the British. When they burnt the stores, and the maize and wheat, not wheat, finger millet was being carried. It was carried by some of the Kalenjin communities, assisting the British to make sure that we suffer from starvation. These are facts. And when people, pretend, when I wanted to go and deal with the issues of Koitalel Samoei in 2005, 19th of October, William Ruto and other friends of mine, they organized a heckling. I took Kibaki there. They heckled me because they thought I was stealing the show from them.
Stealing their thunder.
Yeah. That was the beginning of them moving to ODM. So they were fighting me because I was trying to redefine the history of Kenya. And Mzee Kibaki graciously accepted to come and preside over the occasion. And the cabinet passes 68 million to bring together the artifacts of Samoei and renamed the university that is there, Samoei, Koitalel Arab Samoei. William Ruto was negating the whole history of the Kalenjin because he never believed. And there are other people who are Kalenjins who never wanted Nandis to take that center stage that they fought against the British because they thought we are elevating ourselves to a level where we are degrading them. This is the truth. So when Kikuyu say they were in Mau Mau, who else is the son of Mau Mau from Rift Valley, from the Kalenjins? How many of them were part of Mau Mau? We are inculcated into believing Mau Mau is bad to associate. And they were telling us, don't even adopt a child that has run away from Mau Mau war. When he grows up, he's going to destroy the rest of the children.
That child is a blemished lamb.
Yes, that's what we are told. I was living in Laikipia until 1962 when we went to Tanzania with my mother. So some of these things, these are facts that don't associate with the Kikuyu, and any Mau Mau, even a young child, say it away to the British, because when he grows up, he's going to destroy you.
Don't empower him or her.
Don't even allow him food. These are facts I'm giving you. I may not be alive tomorrow, but this is a social issue that was given to us through social network. It was not social media, social network of the British.
You really have to put
that
that
the
in your
Kikuyus
book.
must be isolated. They are dangerous to every Kenyan. And that stereotype is still in the minds of many people.
You are seeing attempts of such to this end.
It's 2007, it happened. 2027 is likely to happen unless we fight it. This is the position I'm giving you, as pure as I got in Laikipia. I was 5 years, but I had good memory, which I still have.
And I insist this should be part of your book.
Well, you are lazy. You have not allowed me to do the manuscript. You invite me here every Tuesday instead of allowing me to do my manuscript. I may be too old to remember some of these facts, but now I've given you in this studio. Yeah,
We shall document this.
yeah. It was bad. You know, when Gachagua talks about the Kikuyu, allow him to talk about it, but not at the exclusion of other communities. When I talk about the Nandi, allow me to talk about it. Otherwise, this country, we pretend and we try to bandage the wounds and we don't tell the truth. Yeah.
It makes sense. Waziri is still sticking to matters to do with the 2027 elections and those already tossing themselves for the presidential bid. One person has come forward, that is CJ Emeritus David Maraga. And there's something unique about his approach. This far, he wants his campaign to be funded by Kenyans who believe in his cause. So far, people have raised money, upwards of 1 million Kenyan shillings. But then again, Waziri, do you think this model by Maraga is going to be embraced by more Kenyans? And is it even sustainable in the first place when talking about presidential races in Kenya?
It's a trend that we should support. Remember, Obama won with a lot of money raised by ordinary people, about $10 and so forth, because I think there is a gap that they give in America on how much somebody should contribute. Is something that should be supported. But in Kenya, it is yet to be relevant. And number two, he must also accept to be part of a team. Because the danger is this one-man show, like the Kenya Kwanza show that they demonstrated in the run-up to the last election, is the danger that lies within our political system. He must accept to be part of a team so that if they pick on him or they don't pick on him, he accepts that this is a team of equals and may the best person be picked, whether it's a lady or a man. Kibaki, despite the fact that he had the majority of votes in the previous election of 1997, where he was second to Moi, accepted to be part of a team. And eventually he was picked on. And when he won, he still maintained that team spirit, that as his minister, when you go to him, he does not tell you what to do. He will ask you questions about your department. This is something that if we don't accept and we do one-man show, then even our leadership is not going to be teamwork. But in this country, for this tribal rift to heal, we must create more trust by working together as a team. It is not one individual who will liberate us. It must be a team of individuals who believe in themselves, who are willing to sacrifice, who are willing to manage their egos, and they're also willing to trust others that will win the show at the end of the day. You can win a government, but you fail to govern because you will be having different ideas and not creating a team spirit that, yes, if Richard has given me this opinion, I must trust him, and I also must learn how to give him better answers without making him feel that I'm belittling his ideas. That's something I would advise Justice Maraga. That is the most important thing. But if it does long range, it's going to be ignored by Kenyans. Yeah.
Almost finally, let me pick up your mind on something here. A few days ago, we saw Wajir Women representative, that is Fatuma Jeho, claim that in the event that we see President Ruto is gonna lose the 2027 elections, we're gonna manipulate the votes, literally rig the votes in his favor. And this just comes a few months after Oscar Sudi, Kapseret Member of Parliament, made a similar claim. And a few other politicians allied to the Kenya Kwanza administration talk of William Kamket and so on and so forth. Waziri, increasingly members allied to President Ruto are making these threats. We're going to rig the votes in his favor. Much as we have a new IEBC in town, how do you think we're going to treat this issue of the transparency of the 2027 elections?
On a happy note, they seem to accept that they don't have sufficient number of votes to win. To me, I'm happy. The second thing is for them to trust the IBC that we have, and I'm happy the chairman has pronounced himself on that, that they are as independent as the law does provide. But on a lighter note, I don't take Sudi seriously. I don't take Kamket seriously. This young girl, I sympathize with her.
Fatuma Jeho.
Yes, I sympathize with her because even as she was finishing, because I like listening, she was already laughing in her own joke. It was a joke in the first place. You remember, if you are to watch that clip up to the end, he says tutaiba kura ingine na anacheka, which means she never even believed in the story. She just wanted the public to be happy because she believed that was an audience, that was Ruto's audience. There's no way you can steal these votes. In the next election, let us look for votes. Whoever thinks that votes can be stolen for him is deluding himself.
Nelson Koech, Belgut Member of Parliament and Chairperson for Defense Committee, argues there is zero precedence of a one-term president. William Ruto has to finish his 2 terms. Yetu 10, yao 10.
Well, I don't know who are the other team. Yao yetu.
Uhuru tulimpa 10, ni Ruto sasa apoe 10.
But he had to look for votes. Uhuru looked for votes. He didn't wait to be given votes. Doesn't he have enough examples? Duma Boko, the current president of Botswana, he made his predecessor 1 term. Somebody Mosesi. In West Africa, there has been 1 term. In Zambia, Edgar Lungu, the guy who has died and his body is still in South Africa, he was made 1 term. 1 term is becoming more popular than is the case. Another guy in West Africa, they had gone abroad with the wife. On their way back, the wife told him the truth, that please don't run. Our family will be in trouble. You are so unpopular that it may be an embarrassment to you. I'm saving you as your dear wife. That don't run so that the family is at peace. The guy never ran. So if Rachel was genuine to William, she would tell him, don't run. You are going to embarrass yourself. Or rather, you support Raila because Raila is used to failing. He might fail, and people will say, oh, after all, it was Raila who was the candidate.
That could come into play?
Yes, that's the truth anyway. Even if the opposition, the joint opposition, were to say it's Kirwa versus William, William will lose against me. The Kalenjins may not vote for me, but I will get a lot of votes from the rest of the country because they will not be thinking who is the other one. They'll be saying, you know, like, remember Uhuru and Kibaki?
Sure.
There were 2 Kikuyus, one young, one old.
True.
People prefer the older one. Now there will be 2 Kalenjins, one young, one old. They'll prefer the old one. Yeah, versus the young one.
Who does not govern on litany of lies, the old one?
Which one? The old one?
I mean, you will be the old candidate.
The old candidate.
Maybe they vote for you because they believe you don't govern on a litany of lies.
And of course, my history is very clear. I never lie until unless the lie is to save my life. But I don't see where my life is at risk. Yeah. So it's very simple. 1 term is a popular word in town. 1 term is a popular slogan in Africa.
In Africa?
In Africa. It is picking currency. The way Kus picked currency at some stage. Today, if Kenyans are not interested in you, 1 term.
Just that.
Yeah. And those of us who are going to be part of the new dispensation will tell whoever is the president, make sure you don't do anything wrong. Otherwise, you'll be another 1 term. Yeah.
Finally, let's wind up our conversation from an economic standpoint. And a few days ago, Kiaru Member of Parliament Ndindi Nyoro came with revelations that this government has borrowed against the fuel levy, used the fuel levy as collateral for loans, multi-billion loans out here. And indeed, CS Mbadi acknowledged the same. But he said that's what we have to do, and we are not apologetic for it. Also, the same government has signaled at the failure of G2G government arrangement, oil arrangement. And Waziri, how do you measure all these new developments and revelations from our economic sector?
You remember I told you G2G was gangster to gangster. So the gangsters have come home to roost. They are proven as right and they were wrong. This kind of borrowing that you are using fuel levy as a collateral for purposes of syndicating some loan is a disaster in the making. They are actually admitting that they are totally incapable of putting the figures properly. And of course, CS Mbadi told us that to leave Ruto with his skunks. Now I suspect he's already a skunk himself. Let's leave it there. He's a skunk.
Fundindi Nyoro, many are questioning, why didn't you speak of such when you are the Budget and Appropriations Committee chairperson? Why wait until you're ejected from the position? Then you come with this kind of worms about Ruto's administration.
Yes, that may be a point of contention, but also better than not saying, better late than not saying anything at all. Yeah, because there are some things that when you are part of government today, if I was to be a minister or anything, you will disagree internally. Perhaps he disagreed internally and he was not listened to at that particular time. So he's disagreeing in public because he does not have any other forum. Today, if I was with Ruto, there are some certain things I'll tell him, this one, I disagree with you. But the public domain, I don't have to disagree with him because I've already passed my message to him. And it's for him either to choose to listen to me or to listen to somebody else. So we cannot condemn Ndindi Nyoro. Perhaps at that time, he disagreed with them, but they never listened to him. And he said, okay, I've told you, it's up to you to pick my advice or go for alternative way of looking at things.
Well, there you have it from former Minister Waziri Kipchumba Arap Kirwa discussing a plethora of issues in the world of politics, governance, and Kenya's economic space. Time now for us to cross over to this insightful segment, Heroes Corner, with Waziri Kipchumba Arap Kirwa. Waziri, who is our heroine for the day?
Well, our heroine today was born 1932.
1932?
Yes, that is Mama Phoebe Asio.
Phoebe Asio.
Yes, somebody who transcended the land with a lot of work towards humanity and mankind. Having benefited from the airlift of 1960 or 61, organized by the late Thomas Joseph Mboya. She came back to Kenya. She did a lot of social work, including at some stage working with Maendeleo ya Wanawake and many other fora, including the UNDP, dealing with women. Later on, she joined as member of parliament, and I'm privileged to have served with her in parliament, I think 1 or 2 terms.
You served with Mama Asio?
I served with her, and she was so motherly. And there are many things she used to tell me, one of which was, when people ask you for money, even if they say on credit, give what you can afford to lose. Don't give somebody $1 million shillings when you cannot afford to lose $1 million shillings.
Usiunde jina?
Yeah, usiunde jina na uwe na shida. So if you ask me for 2,000, if I can afford to lose 2,000, I'll give it to you. If you bring it, thank you. If you don't bring it, I will say I'd already closed the books.
You are ready to lose it anyway.
I had already closed the books. So she passed away the other day on the 16th of July. And we grieve with her family. And I know some of our children, some of our relatives. We worked with them. And she's somebody that has served in this country with dedication. It's unfortunate that she collapsed as she was going to do her normal duty. Imagine at the age of over 90, she was still going to tend for the field back home. Tells you this is a hard worker.
She was a gem from the lake?
From the lake. And somebody dedicated to serving mankind and serving community, and through which the rest of the world.
If you look at the women legislators we have in today, I'm talking about, say, Millie Odhiambo, Sabina Chege, even Karen Nyamu, what is that one trait that you'll highly recommend for them to pick from Phoebe Asio?
First of all is the humility and the willingness to accept that even the best still need advice from the rest. Even the best still need advice from the rest. The main problem with leaders today is they arrogate themselves the role of knowing all. Know it all. It is dangerous. I will tell them, be humble. Even if you know, you think you know. Some of those ordinary people in the village, there is something they know that you need to learn from them. The ordinary villagers, when I go home, I find some of the old men now in their 90s, who the other day when I was their MP, could jump over a fence almost 5 feet, now struggling to walk towards my house. And I realize life has a beating. Even when you think you are doing so well, respect even those ordinary people in the village.
They too have their voice?
They have their voice and they have their space in the world. Even the banana seller in your marketplace, whether it's Mosbridge or Kapkoi, respect them because they are playing a role in contribution to our GDP. Without them, the GDP of Kenya will collapse.
They have a right to belong.
They have a right to belong. And don't just ignore them. One of them will give birth to a president of Kenya, whether the father will still be alive or dead. Because God is kind. He is an equalizer. He allows you to get to areas where you did not know that you'd get.
Their children can also go to Mangu.
Yeah, they can go to Mangu through the front door, not alliance through the back door.
Waziri, there you have it. But actually, this year you've lost a number of your friends. I'm talking about John Koech, now Mama Phoebus. It must be such a hard hit for you personally.
It is, but of course, when I went to Parliament, I was 31, and some of them were in their 40s and their 50s. Not that age is a determination for death, but I'm happy. They were in their 80s and 90s. If I was to get to my 90s, I still got more than 20 years. Even 80s, I still got 20 years also.
I've never asked you this though. Are you afraid of death, Waziri?
Well, all of us should be worried, where will I go when I die? We should be worried. How will I leave my children and my grandchildren? We prepare every day to make them comfortable, but you can never be perfect. Because you see some of the big families, they have their own wrangles about sharing of wealth. When they have enough to them, you know, for me, I could be worth 100 million or so, but some people worth billions, like struggling here in Kiambu, when their land is worth more than 20 billion. If they were to sell, and only 15 people are struggling over 20 billion worth of, each one of them would be a billionaire, but they are still wrangling.
So as Richard Mwenja, my preoccupation shouldn't be about how much billions am I going to leave behind for my child.
It's how well you live your family, and how is your family living with the rest of society. If all the villagers don't like your family, there's no way they will survive beyond you. We should be worried about, are we good to our neighbors? Are they behaving well to our neighbors? Or when they get into the car and they're driving to town, they don't realize there's an old man who wants to be offered a lift to the road. They are not even going to town with him. They want to be offered to the road, then they go to Melinane as they go to town. You should be worried about the character of your children. Yeah, because that determines the content of their humanity.
Well, there you have it. Noble nuggets of wisdom from Waziri Kipto Arap Kirwa. Thank you so much for gracing our edition. We are happy to have you back.
Yeah, it's my pleasure too, despite the fact that my home has not fully cleared. But I will still struggle to come back.
And you need to pray more now.
I need to pray more for all of you, people like Nelly, people like Ryan, Bush, and the rest. Yes.
All right, we equally shall pray for you. Until you get to do this again, do enjoy the rest of your viewing. We do this again with Waziri Kipto Arap Kirwa next week, Tuesday, 7:30 p.m.